how big of a victory was when you talk about the red wave when Trump won, and how different would the climate be today? Bitcoin right now is at what, 90, 91,000, 92,000, 89,000, whatever the number is. How 90,000, 711, how different would it have been if it was a Kamala victory?
I think if you look at the difference between a red wave and a blue wave, I'll take the blue wave first. If it had been a blue wave, Bitcoin would grind up plus 20, 25%, 30% against resistance, and the rest of the digital assets industry would degrade down 20%.
Okay.
Like every digital exchanges, digital tokens, digital securities, digital currencies, they would degrade and Bitcoin would grind up. And there would be that tension that you see right now for the last 4 years where Bitcoin is grudgingly accepted, under protest, and the other ones are being attacked all the time. But I think the red wave was the headwind becomes a tailwind. Bitcoin surges up, not plus 20, but maybe plus 50 or plus 60. I think, we go from that to this. And then the digital assets industry goes from degrading down to surging up. It goes from minus 20 to now it's coming back. Now, there's a little bit more uncertainty with digital assets because we got to wait till next year to figure out what the framework will be. But basically, the polarity got switched from negatively polarized on the entire digital assets economy to positive with the red wave. And I think you just got to have a much more bullish view toward growth and prosperity and innovation in the next 4 years than you would have had in a blue wave.
Okay, so what do you think is going to be by the end of Trump, give or take? High, low. If you're saying in 21 years it'll be 13 million, you're saying it'll be at 100,000 by the end of the year. What do you think it'll be by 2028?
I got a Bitcoin 24 model that's actually published on GitHub. You can Google it, and if you Google it, you can download it, and then you can crank in your assumptions and see our base case assumptions. And I think my base case assumptions, and it actually spits out the price of Bitcoin every year. And to tell you the truth, I don't have off the top of my head, I don't have the exact number for the end of 28. But I could tell you basically the model says it's like 55 growth to 52 to 50% a year.
Got it.
So it's like 50 to 45% growth a year for the next 4 years. And that's like doubling every 18 months or less than 18 months in that range.
I got it. So roughly 350 is, if we were to say $300,000 to $400,000, that's about the number.
I wouldn't be surprised.
You wouldn't be surprised if it's a number like that. But because you're long term, you really don't care what it is. You're playing 21 years. You're not playing 4 years.
No, I'm in it forever.
And all your clients, how do you sell them on being in it forever? Okay, how do you sell them? If you're talking to me on the phone, I'm like, Michael, you want me to do what?
You mean my customers or my investors?
Customers.
Yeah, well, the customers of the software company, they're getting MicroStrategy software. They're delighted with the software.
Let me rephrase that. Investors.
Investors.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the investors are investing in the company because they want more Bitcoin. They don't want Bitcoin performance. They want to invest in a stock that can outperform Bitcoin. So we are a Bitcoin treasury company. And the way to think about us is if you just want straight Bitcoin exposure, you buy IBIT from BlackRock. And that's like overnight deposits. I'm buying, $1 million of Bitcoin, and if Bitcoin goes up 50% a year, I'm getting 50% a year, and I'm getting the downside and the upside. MicroStrategy will sell you bonds. We're basically the leading issuer of Bitcoin-backed bonds in the market. So what if you wanted the upside of Bitcoin without the downside? I want like 75% of the upside, but no downside, or something like that. You buy the convertible bond. And so a lot of investors of ours are bond holders, and what they want is low risk, low volatility Bitcoin. And you can do that through those fixed income instruments. And then the equity holders, they want high voltage Bitcoin. They want 1.5x or 2x Bitcoin. And so you can imagine when I give someone half the return of Bitcoin in the bond, I can give the difference to the equity holder. So I'm stripping the risk and the vol and the performance off of the bonds. I'm handing it to the equity holder. And then you've got derivatives and the options guys. They want 10x leverage, and they want 10x long and 10x short. So ultimately, you've got different classes of investors. You've got the 10x short, the 10x long, the 3x. There's actually two interesting ETFs, MSTU and MSTX. Okay, I think MSTU went from like nothing to $2 billion in AUM in 3 weeks.
It happened again. Bitcoin has surged beyond the staggering $109,000 mark. This extraordinary leap defied expectations, occurring amidst a sweeping market liquidation that obliterated $1.2 billion in crypto assets. Prominent figures like Michael Saylor of MicroStrategy, political heir Robert Kennedy Jr., and the newcomer presidential figure Donald Trump are central to this unfolding drama. Michael Saylor specifically has something to say about the new Bitcoin high. Join as we delve deep into his perspective and analyze what this means for the future of crypto under Trump. Welcome back to Investocracy Crypto.
So imagine an ETF that siphons up $2 to $3 billion of capital in like a few weeks, no marketing. And what they offer you is 2x MicroStrategy exposure. So when I think about it, I'm like, well, if MSTR is 1.5x Bitcoin, then those things are 3x Bitcoin. And then the other bonds are like 0.75% of Bitcoin. What we're really doing is we're refining this crude capital. I use the analogy of Standard Oil or refinery. You put crude oil in one side of the refinery and out comes kerosene, gasoline, and asphalt. And of course, you put kerosene in the jet engine, but you don't put crude oil in. And so what people want is they want refined petrochemical products. Or you could think of us as a transformer. I want high voltage power, and I also want low voltage power for my daughter's hairdryer. And you're like, well, you're losing if I put low voltage in a battery and I put it in my little kid's toy, it's very inefficient. There's a massive markup in it. But the point is the family wants batteries for the kids' toys. They don't want to electrocute Junior, right? So what we're doing is providing low voltage Bitcoin, high voltage Bitcoin. And the only way to do that is to have a 100% Bitcoin balance sheet. Because I have to have the 30 billion of Bitcoin to sell you the $3 billion of bonds that are 10x over collateralized that also give you the return of Bitcoin and the frequency of Bitcoin. Half of this is the return, but the other half is the volatility. The reason those instruments have value is because they're volatile, because I can arbitrage them and sell the volatility. So a lot of times people think volatility is a bad thing, but I would say it's like radioactivity and heat. And a lot of people are afraid of a fire and they're afraid of radioactivity, but you can't have nuclear power without radioactivity, and you can't have an internal combustion engine without a fire. And so MicroStrategy's put this crypto reactor in the middle of the company. And because we have that high volatility, high energy reactor, and it's like, people are like, aren't you going to diversify it? That's like taking this water and pouring it on the fire. Of course I'm not going to diversify it. Like, I give you fire, you're freezing to death, and the first thing you could think to do is throw water on it, right? So we're actually running the reactor, and that is really our unique value proposition to all those investors, and they can't get it.
Bitcoin soared above $109,000, akin to a legendary phoenix, arising from its ashes, leaving a trail of marvel in its wake. At the heart of this exhilarating ascent is Michael Saylor, an outspoken advocate for Bitcoin, standing shoulder to shoulder with notable personalities such as Robert Kennedy Jr. and Jared Kushner. Saylor's response and the image that accompanied it, punctuated with the innovative slogan, "The future is bright." As Bitcoin ascends, it's also about the scene stealer at the political arena. Donald Trump, the newly elected president, who is notably pro-crypto, has created a buzz by championing cryptocurrencies during his campaign. His promise of a national strategic Bitcoin reserve has stoked imaginations across the investment community, and Michael Saylor is taking every chance to speak that into reality with the help of Trump.
Let me ask, there's rumors going on that the CEO of XRP met with Trump, right? Ripple. I think there's a rumor. Rob, if you want to pull it up, if there's something like that, I thought I saw something. Did Ripple CEO meet with Trump? Critics remark fuel XRP surge and speculation. CEO Brad Garlinghouse remarks amid XRP surge and have fueled speculation Trump stock. So if Musk is in there, Musk, my view, I may be wrong. Musk is meme coins. Musk is Doge. Musk is crypto. Musk is Bitcoin. For the most part, he's open to the idea. He's not specific to one thing. The community with XRP right now and Ripple, has anything with your position with Ripple changed since the last time you and I were together?
Yeah, what I say today is it's clear we have a pro-crypto president. They're all in on crypto. They're all in on Bitcoin. They're progressive. They're all about freedom. And freedom means, the 20th century securities regime was you got to spend $40 million on compliance to bring a company public. But what if I only want to raise $4 million in capital? How does it make sense that I got to spend $40 million on insurance in order to take a $4 million risk? So I think actually when we come January, depending upon who runs the SEC, I think you'll have a pro digital assets SEC, a pro digital assets Treasury, a pro digital assets White House, a pro digital House and Senate. Now, if you want the crypto industry to grow and prosper in the United States, you need a digital assets framework that is ethically sound, technically sound, economically sound. And that means this is a digital commodity, this is a digital security, this is a digital token, this is a digital currency, this is a digital NFT, this is a digital ABT, asset-backed token. If you define all those, and I did, by the way, in my keynote at Cantor Fitzgerald last Thursday, which has gone viral, I said, here is your digital asset classes. Now we need the regulators to give us that framework.
In a staggering forecast, Michael Saylor echoes the belief that Bitcoin won't simply settle at $1 million per coin, but will skyrocket into the realms of celestial figures like $12 million in 10 years. Why stop there? Bitcoin, they argue, will supplant gold, carving its robust niche in the market's lexicon. But before going any further, if you made it this far into the video, thank you. These videos take a lot of effort and time to make, so if you enjoyed them, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. This goes a long way in helping us grow. That said, back to the video.
Would there come a time where you're pro-Ripple and maybe even to the point that you recommend clients to it? Is there a possibility?
I'm Bitcoin only, 100%. Like the truth is, I wouldn't even recommend Apple stock. Like there's no security. I'm not going to recommend
0% chance.
Yeah, like I wouldn't recommend a security because there's a counterparty to a security. But the position is like if you came public and you had your own security or token or whatever you had, I wouldn't recommend you either. But it's not because I'm not in favor of your business. I just think that you have to stay in your lane, right? I'm not going to give you recommendations on diet or politics or any particular investment other than to say, I think Bitcoin is digital capital and it's a long-term store of value.
The crypto tide sweeping with Trump's inauguration and the prospects of a national Bitcoin reserve offer a compelling tale for the financially adventurous. Current trends depict a stock that defies gravity, with forecasts setting the stage for further growth. Bitcoin's present stature, a paragon of the crypto domain, is not just in its price, but its promise to redefine the paradigms of wealth and investment strategy. But what are your thoughts in this ever-evolving conversation in the marketplace? How far do you see Bitcoin reaching? And finally, if you would like to know more about cryptocurrencies or specifically Bitcoin, go ahead and click on the next video on your screen. See you there.